Is this game relevant to you? This game doesn't look like other things you've played in the past. As such, we don't have much information on whether or not you might be interested in it. Are you sure you should be playing this game? It might be a bit too fast for you. Gabe came round my house and said that to me. He leaned over my desk and he was like, are you sure you want to get this game off Steam? I don't know why he sounds like that, but that's what happened. And now a note on the content of this game before I start. It's not super gory. It's also not really that scary because it's kind of neon and psychedelic, but there are a lot of sort of gruesome sounding squelching noises, and I know from recent videos that some people really don't like that. It's some kind of phobia. I don't know what kind of phobia it is. I'm not that kind of doctor, but if that bothers you might want to skip this one out. So see you in another video if you want. Go and watch that one. Today I want to take a quick look at something I've been sent called It Consumes, and those of you who are familiar with Hyperdemon, which is a very cool game that I have not actually had a chance to play yet, but I'm aware of as a sort of phenomena. It's hard not to kind of see this trailer and compare it to that because it's doing a lot of similar things with the kind of psychedelic first-person arena shooter type thing. I'm going to play this having not played Hyperdemon, so I don't have the point of comparison of like what that game feels like or anything like that. But if you're into this sort of thing and you think I'm getting it wrong and you sort of want to give your own impressions to the developer and help them out with that, then there is a playtest that you can join. There's a chance that this is going to have like no controller support, which means it probably just won't work for me because I basically haven't played an FPS game with a mouse and keyboard since like the first Overwatch got popular and I was playing that. I just prefer playing action games using a controller. I know it's weird. I know some of you don't approve. Your pulse reveals your surroundings. Press space to pulse. I'm not using the keyboard. Okay. Not actually supporting the controller at all. This happens quite a lot. I get sent games where it's an action game, so I want to play it with the controller, and it seems like they've used some character controller in the engine that comes with a built-in controller support, and that's why I can sort of move around a little bit in the game, but the rest of the controls aren't properly mapped. It's really confusing when that happens. Right, space. And I can do a Devil May Cry type jump dash with shift. So we can't see, and we have to do the pulse to be able to see. So it's kind of Daredevil vision crossed with a bit of the vibe of the kind of alien scanner in the Aliens film. It's that kind of feeling to it. The base sensitivity of the mouse feels really slow. If my character can't turn around as fast as I can in real life, and I'm a overweight 40-year-old man, and this is supposed to be an action character. I want to be able to turn around fast. Precision fire ammo is gained by killing enemies. You've been damaged. Destroy the health crystals to recover your health. So to use the kind of zoomy in precision fire, which feels really cool. It feels really cool to kind of shoot a character or a thing with the fingers like that. But that requires a different type of shot. I'm not quite sure I'm getting my head around that right now. Okay, F and Q are my spells. Casting spells uses your pulsar, leaving you in the dark temporarily. So you need to get that right, because you're going to have a moment where you can't see the enemies at all. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's very cool at a sort of conceptual level. It's just seeing if people get it. Oh. Pulsing while the heart is black overloads it. Wait for its colour to return. Okay. Kill the skulls and collect XP they drop to level up. There they are. So I like this sort of micro memory game of you can pulse, sort of see where they are, then shoot into the dark where you sort of remember them being. That's neat. We got shinies on the floor. Big fan of shinies on the floor. They're a crucial element of one of these games. Don't make a game where you kill lots of enemies if you don't then get to pick up shinies on the floor. As long as I don't have to like manually bend down and pick them up with a really slow animation, that would suck. Every 20th enemy kill spawns an ice crystal that chills nearby enemies when destroyed. How lovely. Oh, these are... Okay, this is my sort of leveling up type. Pick one of these 3 things, downwell type situation. Pickup range increased for experience. Performing a quick reload will shock. I'm going to go with the kind of passive thing because I don't want to overload myself with stuff I need to know how to do. Give myself the things that don't require me to learn a new button. I do love destroying a pulsing crystal. Yeah, okay. Heart is black. Not allowed to pulse it. Have to wait. They seem to also die when they hit you. Is that what's happening? Okay, I'm a little bit confused so far, but it's okay. I like it. It's cool. It's definitely like cool looking. Spell kills spawn extra XP pickups. Yeah, whatever. I don't know how to perform a quick reload, but so I definitely would question the method of tutorialization in this game because I picked this up and I wanna get straight into it, and I definitely don't want to read in this sort of game because there's quite a few weird concepts that you have to introduce people to quite quickly in that tutorial. It's really cool. I'm struggling with learning all of the stuff in one go like that. It's kind of like I've been given a lot of textual information. Some of it is about quite weird concepts, right? Like flashing the pulse or what the different spells do. And it felt very compressed into one text tutorial. I would have liked a minute or so of just running around in the dark, triggering the pulse and shooting skulls, and it felt like we got past that and out of it very, very quickly. My initial gut feeling is that this game is just introducing too much too quickly, and my second gut feeling is that the red and black kind of visual style thing is very cool, but I find it quite annoying that it's so hard to see the enemies. Sorry, I need to destroy the pulsing crystal again. But when I do... Yeah. Is that hurting them? Can't see. When I do the flash to kind of light up the environment and see where the enemies are coming from, you know, that is a resource, right? It's sometimes hard to see the skulls, right? Even if I turn around really quickly, if there are other things like being affected by the pulse, like the bones sticking out of the environment and stuff like that, it just feels like I'm wasting that resource of the pulse when I can't see anything with it. This game is a strange one because, like I said, the tutorial feels too fast just because there are so many things here where if this is the first game of this type that you've played, they're going to be totally new concepts, and it gets through them very, very quickly in a couple of minutes. But then I'm also glad that we get some of these fun, weird power-ups to play around with, like very, very quickly, because that kind of dash, that flame dash, wall of fire that lights up the enemies, that was really neat. I really like that, and it's kind of giving me a flavour of that early on, which makes me think that, okay, this game has got unlockables, it's got different powers that do different stuff, and they're gonna actually change the gameplay in some significant way. So this is very cool. We've got an ability that when you dash, you leave this trail of fire behind you, and then when the enemies pass through it, they kind of get lit up and you can see them easier. So I'm already seeing there are a fair few different ways that the visibility mechanics are played around with here, and that's really cool to see. One of the things I really hate seeing is when we get games where there are loads of upgrades, loads of power-ups, and it's all just numerical, like number go up of the same thing, and it doesn't really change like the in-game behavior at all. And this looks like it's going to have a lot of, you know, different toys in the box, and I like to see that. You can just sort of circle around the fire as well, and then you've got better visibility on everything coming out of it. I like those flying enemies. It's like big flying squiddly diddly things. Like, I believe that's a Stranger Thing. That's what they're called. Yeah, really cool. Killing enemies charges a poison mine. When fully charged, dashing spawns the mine and it detonates after 3 seconds, poisoning nearby enemies. I love mines and I love poison. Just put poison and mines in your game and I'll be very happy. Right, I need to return to the arena apparently. Yeah, there's definitely something about that situation of your heart is overcharged and it's gone black, so you can't use it. And there's stuff all around you and you can kind of hear it, but you can't do anything about it. And I'm not sure about that situation. It happens quite a lot. And I'm not sure if it's a situation that shouldn't happen or if it's just one that should be harder to get into, but it feels pretty bad. And I think maybe, again, it's just punishing us with those points where your one of your tools, your heart, just stops working. And maybe that's just something that is a bit too frequent and a bit too early in the game to be that punishing about that. Feels like a design feature that has been put in to solve a problem, but I haven't experienced the problem, so I'm just sort of experiencing this thing where it's like you're given a tool to play the game. It's like, here is your light, and it's unreliable too much of the time, I would say, for me to kind of get really into the game and start to feel like I'm doing well at it. That's cool. They kind of summon a ward kind of thing that fights for you. I feel like the spell icons could be a little bit more obvious what each one does. They're very, very sort of abstract. Now, I know this is really, really petty and small, but in a game where you have game mechanics based around light and visibility, it's very confusing if you then talk about a light spell in contrast to a heavy spell. This should be like major and minor, or primary and secondary, or something like that, but I don't think you can use the words light and heavy in the context of a game where like light for visibility is such a big thing. This just confused the hell out of me, and if it confuses me, it's going to confuse someone else as well. I really like this. There is a demo of it on Steam. I think if you like the look of it, you should go and play it yourself. Give this dev as much feedback as you can, particularly if you've played similar games like it, because I haven't, so your feedback is more likely to be more relevant. You are dead. You are dead.